What up, though? Urban Dictionary. Chiefin'. Smoking lots of weed. Chiefin'. Reference references the actions of Native American tribal leaders, chiefs, that had complete access to all of the tribe's resources. Again, chiefin', smoking lots of weed, or referencing the actions of Native American tribal leaders, chiefs that had complete access to all of the tribe's resources. During life, when I was younger, one of the names we used to call one another was Chief. Some used it more than others. Chief was also the name given, or better yet, earned by individuals with certain amounts of respect and authority in the section I'm from, as well as larger portions of the town. And when I came of age, Chief was applied to smoking that plant, and we was chiefing. I don't know. I ain't know whether or not others from other parts of America were using this terminology. I was only familiar with my section of town. Coincidence? Maybe. Oxford English Dictionary. Chief, adjective and adverb. From 1330, of persons that is formerly the chief or head, standing at the head, taking the first place. 1297 to 1837, of things highest in rank, capital, head. 1519 to 1660, preeminent in excellence, best, finest, choice. Compared as chiefer, chiefest, as the word was weakened in force from the meaning of head or supreme absolutely to that of leading. Comparison of relative position became possible, and thus a comparative chiefer occurs, and much more frequently a superlative chiefest, the latter very common in the 16th and 17th centuries, and still frequent in literary use. Oxford English Dictionary, the online version. Chief, noun. The head of the body, 1330 through 1533. The head of the body. 1400 to 1579. The head, top, upper end of anything. 1605. A head of discourse, a heading. 1297. The head of a body of men, of an organization, state, town, party, office, etc. Foremost authority, leader, ruler. 1791. The chief of every monarchical party must be the monarch himself. 1587. The head man or ruler of an indigenous community, clan, tribe, etc. A jocular name supposedly modeled on the speech of North American indigenous people, given to a person of authority or importance. 1790, 1713, while naked youth and painted chiefs admire our speech, our color, and our strange attire. We don't admire their attire. I don't know if we admire their strange attire to this day. As a matter of fact, it's too hot. Hot outside, you got all that strange attire on. 1612, in the chief or highest place or position, often in titles as commander-in-chief, colonial, colonel-in-chief, commander-in-chief, colonel-in-chief, etc. 1927, colloquial, as an informal form of address to a man or boy. From 1927, as an informal form of address to a man or boy. Sounds like Urban Dictionary. Sounds like what I told you we used to do. 1297, chief, adjective and adverb, at the head or top in importance, most important, influential or active, principal, foremost, greatest of things. Head chief, 1763, the principal chief of a North American indigenous people. 1778, chiefess, a female chief of a people, clan, etc. This is from a copy of the book Early History of the Creek Indians and Their Neighbors, John R. Swanton. In 1604, Pedro de Ibarra, governor of Florida, journeyed from St. Augustine northward along the coast as far as St. Catherine Island, stopping at the important mission stations and posts and holding councils with the Indians at each place. Until he left San Pedro, Cumberland Island, he employed as interpreter a single Indian named Juan de Junco. But as soon as he passed northward of that point, another interpreter named Santiago was added. Moreover, the chiefs met previously were all called cacique, but afterwards the name Mico is often appended. The particular Muskogean dialect which these Indians spoke is, however, more difficult to ascertain. Wrangell indicates a connection between the Yamasee and Hitchiti, and this impression appears to have been shared generally by the Muskogee Indians of later times. On the other hand, the word for chief among the Wale, Gwale, Gullah, Gwale, Wale Indians was, as we have seen, Mico, the form which has in Muskogee, whereas the proper Hitchiti term is Mickey. This means either that Muskogee was already the lingua franca upon the coast of Georgia, or else that the languages of the Gwale, Wale, Gullah Indians and the Yamasee belonged to distinct groups. The chief of the Gwale, Wale, Gullah town bore the title of Mico, a circumstance which, as has been shown, has important bearings in classifying the people in the Muskogean linguistic group. It appears also that there was a head Mico or Mico mayor for the whole Wale, Gwale, Gullah province. In 1596, a chief whom the Spaniards called Don Juan laid claim to the title of head Mico of Gwale or Wale or Gullah. There is some confusion regarding him, for the text seems to identify him with the Timucua chief. However, this claim elicited from the Spanish crown a request for an explanation of the term, to which Governor Mendez de Canco replied, "In regard to your majesty's instructions to report about the pretension of the cacique Don Juan to become head Miko, and to explain what that title or dignity is, he informs me himself that the title of head Miko means a kind of king of the land, recognized and respected as such by all the caciques in their towns, and whenever he visits one of them, they all turn out to receive him and feast him, and every year they pay him a certain tribute of pearls and other articles made of shells according to the land." My little brother named Miko. Coincidence? Maybe. Spartacus to the Gladiators at Capua, a monologue by E. Kellogg. Ye call me chief, and ye do well to call him chief who for 12 long years has met upon the arena every shape of man or beast the broad empire of Rome could furnish, and who never yet lowered his arm. If there be one among you who can say that ever in public fight or private brawl my actions did belie my tongue, let him stand forth and say it. If there be 3 in all your company dare face me on the bloody sands, let them come on. And yet I was not always thus, a hired butcher, a savage chief of still more savage men. My ancestors came from old Sparta and settled among the vine-clad rocks and citron groves of Cyricella. My early life ran quiet as the brooks by which I sported, and when at noon I gathered the sheep beneath the shade and played upon the shepherd's flute, there was a friend, the son of a neighbor, to join me in the pastime. We led our flocks to the same pasture and partook together our rustic meal. One evening, after the sheep were folded, and we were all seated beneath the myrtle which shaded our cottage, my grandsire, an old man, was telling of Marathon and Leuctra, and how in ancient times a little band of Spartans in a defile of the mountains had withstood a whole army. I did not then know what war was, but my cheeks burned. I know not why, and I clasped the knees of that venerable man until my mother, parting the hair from off my forehead, kissed my throbbing temples and bade me go to rest and think no more of those old tales and savage wars. That very night, the Romans landed on our coast. I saw the breast that had nourished me trampled by the hoof of the war horse, the bleeding body of my father flung amidst the blazing rafters of our dwelling. Today I killed a man in the arena, and when I broke his helmet clasp, behold, he was my friend. He knew me, smiled faintly, gasped, and died. The same sweet smile upon his lips that I had marked when, in adventurous boyhood, we scaled the lofty cliff to pluck the first ripe grapes and bear them home in childish triumph. I told the praetor that the dead man had been my friend, generous and brave, and I begged that I might bear away the body to burn it on a funeral pile and mourn over its ashes. I, upon my knees amid the dust and blood of the arena, I begged that poor boon, while all the assembled maids and matrons and the holy virgins they call Vestals and the rabble shouted in derision, deeming it rare sport, forsooth, to see Rome's fiercest gladiator turn pale and tremble at the sight of that piece of bleeding clay. And the praetor drew back as I were pollution and sternly said, let the carrion rot. There are no noble men but Romans. And so, fellow gladiators, must you, and so must I, die like dogs. O Rome, Rome, thou hast been a tender nurse to me. Aye, thou hast given to that poor, gentle, timid shepherd lad who never knew a harsher tone than a flute note, muscles of iron and a heart of flint, taught him to drive the sword through plated mail and links of rugged brass and warm it in the marrow of his foe, to gaze into the glaring eyeballs of that fierce Numidian lion, even as a boy upon the laughing girl. And he shall pay thee back until the yellow Tiber is red as frothing wine, and in its deepest ooze thy lifeblood lies curdled. Ye stand her now like giants as ye are. The strength of brass is in your toughened sinews. But tomorrow some Roman Adonis, breathing sweet perfume from his curly locks, shall with his lily fingers pat your red brawn and bet his sesterces upon your blood. Hark! Hear ye yon lion roaring in his den? 'Tis 3 days since he has tasted flesh, but tomorrow he shall break his fast upon yours. And a dainty meal for him ye will be. If ye are beast, then stand here like fat oxen, waiting for the butcher's knife. If ye are men, follow me. Strike down yon guard, gain the mountain passes, and there do bloody work, as did your sires at old Thermopylae. Is Sparta dead? Is the old Grecian spirit frozen in your veins, that you do crouch and cower like a belabored hound beneath his master's lash? O comrades, warriors, Thracians, if we must fight, let us fight for ourselves. If we must slaughter, let us slaughter our oppressors. If we must die, let it be under the clear sky by the bright waters in noble, honorable battle. Do the right thing.